It's his first time being on the Jaguar Journal, so we're going to ease him in because he is an outsider, but nonetheless, it's swag, and we're talking some swag basketball this morning. So I want to welcome to the show very special guest. He's the athletic director at Alabama A&M, Dr. Paul Bryant. Good morning, Dr. Bryant.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good, man. How about yourself? How's everything going up there in Huntsville, Alabama?
You know, I'm doing well, and everything's going well up here. We're gearing up for our spring game today, but we have we have an orientation, and then a baseball game at noon, and then our spring game today at 3. So it's a lot going on the hill today.
I say good luck to you guys. How about that? Listen, let's talk about it, right? Big news because it's been all over the place, right? We had an opportunity to talk to Dr. Travian Scott about his basketball hire. Now I get an opportunity to talk to you, Dr. Brown, about your basketball hire because that's a big process for a lot of athletic directors, making sure you pick the right guy. Let's jump right into it. You hired a basketball coach this week. Talk about it.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it is a big process. But for me, when I'm looking for a coach, I'm looking for someone who, first of all, is the right fit for the institution. And I've had the opportunity to watch the coach that I hired, Dante Jackson, as a player when he was playing for Central State in Ohio. And I was coaching in Ohio then, and been able to watch him grow. Then I hired him at Stillman College in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And then once I took over at Grambling, I knew that he was the guy. We hadn't won in 30 years there. And I knew hiring him would be the guy to get it done. And his first year, we won. We had a winning season. That's the first thing. And then they won the regular season. Not the tournament, but just the regular season. And he's just a leader of men, and he could get it done. He's a program builder. And I know here we haven't had a winning season here since 2005. And I knew Dante was the right fit for that, to rebuild this program and get us back to where we're supposed to be. Coach Pettaway in his days, just consistently winning, and we want to get back to that winning way. And Dante Jackson, again, he and I have a good relationship, and as he stated, administration matters, and so I'm excited to have him on the hill.
Saw you guys on social media. You were back to back. You said we're back. That means getting an opportunity of a guy that you're very familiar with. You talked about how long you've known him, but talk about you in building this basketball program, what you saw from the previous year, from this past year, and what you're looking for out of your basketball program moving forward.
Yeah, so I'm an ex-basketball coach. So when I look at the fundamentals of a program, I look at how the students react to a coach. I also look at how they play. Once you're trying to get a lot out of them when you're late in the season, and sometimes they give up on you. And I know hiring Dante, I know his kids don't give up on him. And they work hard for him. They go through the wall. They will run through a wall for him. And so that was critical for me. And, seeing that over the last few years that our team, we were declining as far as our record. We were declining in our record. And I wanted to make sure you got to stop the bleeding. At one point, we stopped the bleeding, and I think now we're going to progress up like we're supposed to.
Got a new basketball facility that's there. You bring in another coach out of the conference from UAPB, and Coach Dunn Thornton in her first year at Alabama A&M, and she did a lot with that program, winning a lot of games. So overall, your vision, looking at athletics, you're realizing basketball is another door to be able to open in. And what we've seen with the SWAC in the NCAA tournament, Alabama State goes and win a game, which I know you don't want to talk much about them, but they go and win a game in the NCAA tournament this year. Southern University women's basketball becomes the first SWAC women's team to win a NCAA tournament game. But looking overall, where are we headed, in your opinion, in terms of a conference when it comes to basketball?
Well, I think you just hit it. We have a couple of programs that have done that consistently, and Southern being the first women, which I think if you pay attention to what's going on in the SWAC and look at the coaches that are being hired and look at the, Alabama State just hired Jonetta Hayes. And I'm going to tell you, these type of hires are going to create an atmosphere that SWAC is going to be a basketball conference. And, everyone says that the MEAC is the basketball conference, but not only are we strong in football, we're going to be strong in basketball as a whole. And I'm excited where the SWAC is going. And I tell you, Dawn Thornton has done a phenomenal job. She's done exactly what I thought she would do. Again, we're trying to energize our fan base here because they haven't been as successful in the past recent years. So it was, for me, I had to give our basketball programs a shot in the arm and say, let's go. And I think the two coaches that we have in those sports are going to do that and do that well.
Are you a fan? And look, I've been hearing, a lot of people saying when it comes to basketball in this conference, man, we got to get a better strength of out-of-conference victories because, look, quite frankly, nobody really likes the 16 seed. But looking at that 16 seed in that first four in, it's giving our conference at least an opportunity to win an NCAA tournament game. But so it's like, it's almost a good and bad type of feel because at the same time, people want a 15, 14, and lower seed. But at the same time, that 16 does give you a quality opportunity to go in and get a victory in the tournament.
That's right, and it does. And that 16 seed, it does give us an opportunity to play a team that's comparable to us and give us the opportunity to win. And for us, it's a unit. You win, you get those NCAA units for the next 6 years, and that unit is finances. So, yeah, I don't mind the 16. However, I don't think that our conference should play all these guarantee games because it really beats up your kids, and then mentally, whether we want to believe it or not, mentally it affects us going into conference. Then we're like, okay, we've lost 8, 9 in a row. Okay, let's try to win one. No, I tell my coaches, yes, play 2 or 3, no more than 3 game guarantees. And if you look at our schedule, that's the way we do it. But we play regional play because we want to get our RPI up and make sure that we're, when we do play, and let's say we do win the conference, then they may not look at us as a 16 seed because our strength of schedule is good, playing regional play and not all the game guarantee.
I want to pivot from basketball for a second because you also made a hire in football as well. Talk about that hire in football in the direction you want to move in even there. You've had your work cut out this year.
Yes, I have. They said, hiring 3 of the highest marquee teams in sports in the athletic department, it's been something else. It's been tasking. But then, I've been here. I'm in my 3rd year, and us losing to the rival consistently for the last 3 years, and then not winning the big game, that became.
Hold on. Is that how you refer to them, the rival?
I do.
I'm sorry, you were going, but I just had to hold on. Like, is this what we refer to? That's just the rival. Okay,
that's
right.
The rival.
I'm sorry.
So, but you know what? Admittedly, so I did the same thing when I was the AD at Grab. So I know the Jaguars. I said the rival. but seeing that and having that those consistent losses, and just seeing how the young men reacted in the program, I wanted to see that we structure the program a little bit better and have a better product out there. And I think hiring Coach Shade, who is a proven winner, and when I say leader of men, another leader of men, and believe in doing the program, doing everything the right way. We did a national search, and he came out on top, man. And we have some great candidates, but he's done quite well in that interviewing process. And watching him over the last few weeks, practice, I'm very impressed with how he runs his show, and also the coaches that he's hired. He's hired some guys that have played at the highest level, NFL and Power Four institutions. So, and he runs the program that way. So I'm looking forward to what's happening today. You know, it's spring ball, so it's not. I know we're going to win today, but I know that I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this season.
Let me ask you this, Dr. Bryant, as an athletic director, it comes with much criticism with the job, but for you, we are starting to evolve in athletics, right? And of course, you have those who have a lot of money, then you have those who don't have a lot of money and just trying to, hey, we got to find money here, there, and everywhere. What is it like on this level as an athletic director for someone like you, having to try to go out and you want to be successful in so many different departments in terms of so many different programs within your athletic department? What is that like for you to have a mindset? And do you have to now in this world become the business mindset and step away from the sports and athletic mindset in order to find success, to generate money and find ways to continue success in programs today?
Yeah, I think that's the mindset that you have to have. You have to have a business mindset. And I think that has turned over the last 5 to 7 years to really, truly a business mindset. And yes, we do a lot more with less, but what we do is, instead of talking about, for me, what we don't have, I look at what we do and how we can repurpose what we have as financially. And then you have to be strategic in partnering with people that can do things for you. I'm not sure if you saw, just signed on with Deloitte. You know, I had have an alliance now with Deloitte, the largest accountant and partnering services in the world. But I've partnered with them to enhance our brand and also enhance the money that we have coming in. And so you get out there and you show who you are, show your strategic vision. And a lot of people want to give. A lot of people want to support. But we do a lot more with a lot less. And I'm fine with that. But because I know that what we're going to do is going to be more impactful. And then I see what the big boys do. However, yeah, you have all the resources. So I look at it as I have less, but I'm going to do something similar that you do. And you know and the person that I have to say this, the person that I work with the closest is your AD at Southern, Roman Banks. He and we bounce ideas off each other consistently. And so a lot of things that I do, he and I talk about.
Let me ask you this, because Huntsville, Alabama is turning into one of the fastest growing metro areas in the United States. A very clean and nice place for families to move and live, tech savvy. How does Alabama A&M athletics sell itself to a community that has money, but then to say, hey, if you're bored, come check out some sports. Not only if you're bored, come be a fan of our sport. You know, how do you tap into that Huntsville, Alabama and surrounding area market?
Well, a lot of our graduates are engineers. And you know, now the FBI is here. We have Redstone Arsenal. And so we tap, and a lot of our graduates are there. So we tap into that quite a bit. Yes, Huntsville is one of the nicest places to live in the country. And so we talk about that, but then we're the only Division I school in town. And so we're telling Huntsville, we're your Division I program. And so we go out and invite, the city council, Rotary, everyone to the game, and having a partnership with them. We give them tickets and, have them come. We want them to experience it. Of course, we want them to purchase stuff, but, in a relationship, you got to get to know somebody before you can ask them for anything. and so that's what we're doing. We're getting to know the community. Everyone is seeing our vision in athletics. And our president, Dr. Wim, his vision is global. And so they see what we're doing and they want to be a part. And that's why we we're becoming to be successful in athletics. As far as the institution, I think we're second to none. To be honest, we're projected to be almost nearly 8,000 students this fall. Academically, our faculty are some of the best, and so now it's time for the athletics program to be some of the best.
You know, and I look at that athletic program, and I like the direction of where you're headed. For you, when you talk about these interview processes, what is that like for you, and what are you looking for out of your coaches moving forward as you start to have the coaches that you've named to become positioned to be in position for success?
Yeah, what I'm looking for is someone who has a passion for helping people. If you're just looking for that self-gratification for, well, I did this and I won, and when you're talking when you're interviewing with me, that becomes an issue for me because I know it's all about you instead of we can do this, we can do that. So when I'm interviewing coaches, I look for that. I look for the person who can really articulate their craft. Every coach that I've hired, you have to come in my office and recruit me. And then you have to teach me. I have a whiteboard. You have to educate me on plays. Like in basketball, I had the coaches tell me about plays. And I'm like, okay, you got to coach me. You got to coach as if I'm a team player. And if you can't clearly articulate your craft, then to me, I know you can't do it to the student. And so that's what I look for. And that's part of my process. And I've been doing it for years. That's my process of hiring any coach. Now, I may not know about lacrosse. However, if I got lacrosse, you got to teach me how to play lacrosse. And if you can't, then you're not the coach for me.
You say by the time they're done with the interview, you better know something about lacrosse, huh?
I better know something.
And let me ask you also the same thing, this ever-changing world, and I always like to have this conversation with athletic directors, NIL and the collectives. What does this look like for Alabama A&M moving forward into the future?
Well, we're excited because, now we can't get away from it. So we have to adapt to it. So what I've done is got with my team and I said, team, how can we be competitive in this world? So what we've done, we play these game guarantees. So we saved quite a bit. So what we're doing is taking some of our game guarantee dollars, putting it over into the collective, and then being able to offer some NIL dollars for our incoming students and our current students. So that's what we're doing, and it's looking good. It's looking good because so what we've done is just take some of our resources that we've had, fundraising dollars that we've had, and really put it towards that NIL and collective. And we're going to do more of that. We're in the middle of the 150th anniversary of the institution and this big campaign. So we put up an NIL collective tab on that page, and within 10 minutes we got $500, and people are beginning to give to that because they know that this is the name of the game now, and they want us to be as competitive as we can in this landscape.
Yeah, I'm curious because we have to take this serious because I talked to Dr. Scott, I talked to Chris Robertson at UAPB, talking the same thing with Roman Banks right here in Baton Rouge, having that conversation, and then with plenty of coaches. Hey, we recruit the kids. The first thing the kids saying is how much.
Yep. Well, now I'm gonna tell you that's another thing. So yes, the first thing they're saying is how much. Then I began to and I told my coaches, if that's the first question out of their mouth, how much you gonna give me? Then you need to look at, is that the right fit for us? Because we can give you so much more than just dollars. And, now I kind of echo what Gramblin's football coach was talking about earlier. Okay, do we put a buyout in? Put buyouts in for coaches. You put buyout in for athletic administration. Now, well, if you leave, then this is what you have to pay back, or something like that. But this whole collective piece, man, I think this model is the way it is now. It's kind of out of control, but the way it is now, I think it's going to be that way for another couple years, and then I think the regulations are going to come in and handle that. And what a lot of people are not doing, I'm sorry to the goal of this, but a lot of people are not training them on the taxes, the financial responsibilities that they have when they get this money. So you let's say the money comes from foundation, then you get a 1099 at the end of the season, at the end of the year, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, what do you mean I owe these taxes? I know you have to do that. Or if it's coming from the institution side and they're taxing out, then you're upset that all those taxes are coming out. But we do financial literacy, and that's part of the Deloitte. That's part of another program that we have here at Alabama A&M. We are educating first, paying second.
And I think that's huge what you're talking about in terms of educating when it comes to the money that's on the table, because no matter how much it is, there's going to have to be something that's taken out. And a lot of these student athletes don't quite understand, or because it's their first time maybe getting that sum of money in their hand at that moment. And a lot of times, I can remember being a student, they say something about a refund check. I already knew what everybody did. They went straight to the mall with that refund check. So I totally understand, even just from something that simple. But, moving forward, when you're looking at as your athletic department, what does the future hold for Alabama A&M and this athletics?
I tell you, I think the future holds for Alabama A&M, I think is really bright when you have a supportive leader, as you do with our board of trustees, and then with our president, Dr. Daniel K. Wim. I think our athletics program is going to be one of the leaders, not only in the SWAC, but in the country. That's what we're striving for. And we want to win at everything, on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. And so that's where we're leaning to. And I think in the classroom, we have that. I think we have a good plan there. In the community, we've done well there. Now it's just time for us to raise our profile in athletics. And I think that's what's happening now. That's what you're seeing now in the coaches that are being hired and the successes that we're having on our playing field.
Being in the state of Alabama, so many schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
How tough is it to have a footprint in terms of marketing in the state of Alabama?
But if you have your own niche, and I think our niche is you come here, you can go anywhere, and that is we're producing leaders already. And when we're telling our message, I'm not going to desecrate your message. I'm going to enhance mine and tell you about me, tell you about what we're doing, and tell you about that. I'm not going to sit here and talk negative about you. So while you're doing that, that's what the focus is. My focus is telling all that we're doing here at Alabama A&M. And I think by doing that, we've been able to strategically increase our enrollment every year. Prime example, our vice president of development and marketing, he put a billboard, the largest billboard in the state of Alabama is in Birmingham. And we purchased that board, and it sits over the city of Birmingham. And you can see it from everywhere. And it's Alabama A&M. We're doing things like that. We're being more visible in every area of Alabama. And so I think, strategically, our president and our VP, they have done a phenomenal job at creating that type of atmosphere in Alabama, where everyone knows that Alabama A&M is the largest HBCU institution in the state.
I tell you what, I was headed to Atlanta for the SWAC basketball tournament, and I have to come through Montgomery. As I'm coming through Montgomery, I'm thinking I'm in Alabama State Hornet land. What do I see on the billboard? Alabama A&M, come be a Bulldog, come be a part of the largest HBCU in the state of Alabama. I said, man, look, this is some real stuff. In Alabama State's own backyard, look, y'all don't play up there in Huntsville.
No, and you know what? That's of course things are done strategically, but you do that, and you notice people begin to notice, and then they did it here too. They put a
okay,
and so but it's okay because Alabama and Huntsville, everyone knows what the best is. Everyone knows that they don't have to go far to get the best. So you don't have to go 190 miles down. You can stay right at home and get the best here. So I ain't gonna talk no mess.
Hey, look, when I saw it, I was talking mess because I said, "Oh man, that's tough right there." They threw a billboard right up in these folks' backyard, but nonetheless, that's the type of marketing because what I learned living in Pine Bluff, right, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and the same thing in many places, and we deal with it in Baton Rouge. A lot of people want the hometown kids to stay home and go to the school, especially the athletes, but a lot of times what we realize, those hometown kids, sometimes they want an outlet away from home.
They do.
And sometimes they want to go somewhere where it's probably not too far from home. It's within close reach. That's what Grambling and Alcorn is for a lot of Baton Rouge kids. And that's what I could say the same thing maybe for kids out of Montgomery. Huntsville it's within enough reach to be away from home, but then it's an opportunity to go somewhere to leave home to want to see something and do other things that are different. That's integral in a young person growing and learning and maturing, especially when you're talking about the educational side.
That's right, and a lot of these kids they do want to go away, and I'm saying, well, if you want to go away and get a great experience, then you must come to Alabama A&M if you're in Montgomery. So if anybody in Montgomery hearing me, that's what you need to do. You need to come to Alabama because you're going to get the best experience that you possibly can here on the Hill. And but that's all that is done. You know, we have our Dr. Brock Talley, who's over our admissions, and he makes sure that his counselors are in those areas, and we're recruiting. And a lot of our base, you know, our biggest bases, Huntsville and Birmingham and Mobile, but Montgomery is right there with them as far as us getting kids. So we make sure that we hit those areas and hit those areas tough.
And before I get ready to let you go, man, first I appreciate you coming on. You guys have a football game. It seems like you're going to do a series with Tennessee State. Tennessee State, who moved out of the Southern Heritage Classic. Of course, Jackson State moved out a few years ago. Then they were playing with UAPB. But you were able to negotiate and work out a deal with Tennessee State. That is a rivalry that a lot of people don't really know much about unless you're part of those programs. Talk about that game moving forward and what you saw out of the importance of Alabama A&M and Tennessee State renewing that rivalry on the football field.
Yeah, that was something that I've been working on since I've been here, and that is getting that game, getting those games back on a schedule. We began to play basketball, you know, we play other sports, but we wanted that football game. And working with Mickey Allen there, we were able to really sit down at the table and say, look, this is going to benefit both of us. So we're calling it the Legacy Series, and getting that game is going to, and playing home and home. And so we didn't need a third party to promote this game. We think that the game itself can do it, but then we're putting some other things behind it. We have similar vendors. And so our vendors are going to be sponsors of the program and of the games. And so we've decided to do something that most don't. You know, they get this third party vendor in or person in to promote. We're doing it ourselves. And I think it's going to be financially beneficial for both of us because we don't always have to go outside to create dollars inside. And that's what we're going to do.
Sound like a good game. I'm looking forward to seeing it, especially with you guys, Tennessee State, Alabama A&M, both programs moving in direction with new football coaches. And with your ideas in terms of Alabama A&M moving into the future, man, hey, I'll be watching. Watching. I've been curious to see where you guys are going with this, But right now, the hires and everything else, and I got to ask you this before I let you go. I know I keep saying,
okay.
What are you learning about yourself as an AD as the years go by?
I think what I'm learning about myself is that I'm more focused on the task. I see I used to own group homes for boys and foster care network, and my business savvy that I had running those really is helping me navigate these waters now in athletics and just being able to run the business. So I'm learning more about myself just through some of the decisions. And I'm going to tell you, every decision I make, it's a prayer to God first. Then it's like, okay, Lord, please help guide me through this and just make sure that I'm making the right decision. And thank God at this point, it's been great.
I totally understand. Listen, everybody that's out there listening is the voice of Dr. Paul Bryant. He's the athletic director in Huntsville, Alabama at Alabama A&M. Dr. Bryant, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning and having a conversation with me.
Well, I appreciate you having me. And, you know, I always say we're enemies only on that one day when we play. Every other day, we got to stick together because it's only us.
Man, I appreciate you, man, for coming on and being able to voice and show your vision for the department, man. As always, man, good luck to you guys and good luck to you as you continue to move forward on your journey up there in Alabama A&M.
Thank you so much. And as always, and I hate to say it, on the Jaguar show, but go Bulldogs.